Got my cold brew, nothing like coffee in the morning. So guess what today, guys? Guess what we're going on our autopilot drive. If you guessed Irvine, then you are probably right. We're going down to Irvine from downtown Los Angeles in about an hour commute today, actually about 45 minutes, so traffic isn't that bad at all. We actually left a little bit late today, around 9:20, but we're still gonna arrive at around 10 a.m. So hopefully there won't be too much traffic, or hopefully there'll be a little bit of traffic so we can see how the newest update that I just downloaded and installed this past weekend, we'll see how Tesla Autopilot does in today's morning rush hour traffic. And hopefully we'll record another video when we come back up so we can see evening rush hour traffic, or probably afternoon rush hour traffic as well. So welcome back to the channel and thanks for watching another video. Let's get into the video and see how Autopilot does today. Of course, my windshield is filthy as well. I didn't really drive the car too much this weekend, but you can't see, but on my left driver's side window right now, because I just hit the automatic wipers or the windshield wiper cleaners, the windshield wiper fluid is now flowing across my driver's side mirror, which kind of sucks. So we just got into the highway. It's actually pretty bright out, so I'm gonna put on my sunglasses. I'm gonna get into the left lane really quick manually, and then I'm gonna throw it into Tesla Autopilot so it can navigate us all the way down. So since I was going 51 miles an hour, the Autopilot system set our speed at 51 miles an hour, so I'm gonna increase it up to like right under 75, I think would be perfect. I'm gonna just first go ahead and check the camera to make sure it's recording. Okay, a little bit of a glitch there. The lane split into two, and Autopilot couldn't figure out which lane to go in, so I thought it was gonna go into the right lane, but there was a car behind us on the right lane, so then it decided the last second to just split into this left side. Going about 51 miles an hour, cruise control speed setting is still set to 75. The right lane is pretty much open and we are exiting to the right, so I'm pretty confused why Autopilot hasn't recommended us to go into the right lane using the, oh, there it is. So right as I said that, auto lane change recommended that we go into the right lane. We're gonna go ahead and trigger it, and pretty good. Definitely a pretty bright day. I actually had a really weird glitch using Autopilot on my way back home the other day, in which it just completely just glitched out and hit on the brakes. It didn't look like it was gonna recognize the car in front of us in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and it just slammed on the brakes at the last second. So that was pretty alarming, and I wish I got it on camera. Thanks for watching another video, guys. If you're new here, my name is Dennis. I have a Tesla Model 3 and a Nissan GT-R, and I make videos about my experience. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. A little bit of braking from the Autopilot system. It looks like some cars in front of us are braking a little bit. There's a huge truck or a dump truck to our left, which I don't necessarily like being right next to, which kind of sucks. It looks like Autopilot is increasing speed a little bit. We are going to exit to the right, and I'm pretty sure this dump truck probably wants to go to the right lane as well. So it's probably probably thinking about why we are just hovering right next to them. A little bit of braking, cars braking in front of us. We should be going pretty fast though, unless there's cars in front of that are also braking. We're going to take this exit to the right here, and then that's going to be put us on the 5 South. This next area is going to be pretty jarring because the sun is going to be facing directly at the Autopilot system, and the lanes they're pretty clear, but they've got like this sheen on them that kind of reflect the sun right back up, maybe because to dissipate heat or something like that. Autopilot made that right turn pretty flawlessly, stayed right in the middle of the lanes, pretty smooth, didn't do that jiggle where it kind of goes left or right within the lane, so it was pretty smooth. Increasing speed now, cars will go a little bit faster. There is a Carvana or Vroom truck in this. Yep, it's a Carvana tow truck trying to get into our right lane, but Autopilot said no thanks and just sped right past it. Good amount of cars in this next area. We'll see how Autopilot's gonna navigate this. Everybody's moving pretty much at the same space, but not so much gap in between each other. So Autopilot can't make any lane changes, so it's probably just gonna stay in this lane. The left lane is going a little bit faster than our lane, but we're still going pretty fast at 72 miles an hour. If I was driving, I'd probably speed up a little bit and then go to the left. Let's see what Autopilot decides to do right here. A little bit of braking because cars are braking in front of us. Looks like there's a little bit of traffic. An aggressive van in our left side just moved to the right lane, or moved to their right lane. Some more braking, and now Autopilot has decided it wants to get into the left lane and has asked us to, but at the same time it braked a lot because the car and the truck got into this lane. So that was a pretty heavy braking, not too heavy actually, but it braked a little bit. This car, the Subaru is coming into our lane, it's braking a little bit. Autopilot still wants to get in the left lane, so looks like there's a truck in that lane, but it's gonna go ahead and go into the lane pretty easily. That truck actually just moved out of this lane now, you can see right there. So this lane is pretty good. There's a little bit of gap in front of us, so Autopilot is probably going to increase speed a little bit here. Autopilot again wants to get into the left lane using the auto lane change feature. So let's go ahead and let it do its thing. There is that same truck, but it's pretty much further back now, so good amount of gap. Cars in front of us are braking. Autopilot is also braking now, a little bit late, and I would say. So yeah, there was definitely a lot going on back there right when we got into the I-5 South. But in terms of what version this is the latest version as of the time of this recording, which is version 10.2, 2021.4.12. And I just installed this update like a couple days ago, so there hopefully won't be another update later today. But I mean, maybe we'll get new features. But on this update, there wasn't really any new features, just minor bug features and enhanced improvements in cold weather. There seems to be no traffic in this next area, so we're going max speed at 75 miles an hour on a cruise control speed setting of 75. So we'll probably just sit back, relax, enjoy your flight, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Oh, geez. Okay, so Autopilot braked a little bit for those boxes, but it pretty much just ran right through them, which if that was something a little bit harder, that would really suck because it'd probably damage the front of my car completely. But because it's soft-ish boxes, which still can probably damage some of the paint or crack some of the paint, depending on how hard it hits it, how fast we're going. We're going like 60 miles an hour, so hopefully when we get to Irvine, I'm going to record a little bit of the front to make sure that everything is okay with the front of the car. I do have paint protection film on the full front of the car, the full bumper, the headlights, and the hood. And I documented the whole experience, so if you wanted to check out that video, I'll paste it down below so you can see how much I paid for it in the Los Angeles area and the whole process of adding paint protection film among other stuff. A little bit of braking from Autopilot right there as that Toyota Corolla came into our lane. But for the most part, this trip has been pretty smooth so far. There hasn't really been too much traffic, and we've been going with the traffic or going with the flow pretty easily. Been going about 70 miles an hour this whole time. Not so much braking. There was a little bit of slowdown earlier before, but there really wasn't any traffic. We are coming up to the construction zone where I think Autopilot has pretty much mastered that area. It hasn't glitched in a long time in that area, and so it probably has improved itself over GPS updates or the updates that Tesla gets in figuring out the area versus for all these cars. So we'll see how Autopilot handles that construction area with this newest update. Alright, so we are heading into the construction area zone of this drive. There's only one now. There used to be like 3, but now this is the only area where they're actually still working on the roads here. So the first turn is to the left here, or the first turn is to the left. Autopilot is doing that pretty smooth. There's always so much debris on the left side here next to the concrete barriers. It's actually pretty dangerous if one of them were to fling up and go across the highways. But you can see here the lanes are just completely terrible. I can imagine Autopilot might freak out. It's doing a little jiggle in the lanes. It's still trying to follow this car in front of us while it's trying to stay in the lanes. The Autopilot system is flashing a lot because it wants us to engage with the steering wheel. It's doing pretty well so far though. It's followed the lane to the right there and then now to the left again. There was a lot of confusing lanes, or pretty clear confusing lanes today, where at least from my angle I can see them a lot more clear. So probably the Tesla Autopilot system can see it pretty clear as well. We're going pretty smoothly. This part of the construction area zone is pretty easy. It's just straight. We're gonna bank to the left here, but the lines are going to go to the right. But there's a car to the right of us, so it's gonna keep us wedged in, I would imagine. So Tesla won't try and go into any of the lanes. We're smoothly following this Tacoma. Autopilot hit the nag timer again, so that was probably only like a 10 or 15 second nag. And now we're going to go to the right. It's getting pretty close to these left concrete barriers, so if you're a new time Autopilot driver, you're not gonna like this area at all. You can see some of the lanes are going to the right. Autopilot is jiggling ever so slightly in the lanes. We just saw past our friendly tire on the left side where it got pretty close from my view. Now we're banking to the right here. Autopilot's really holding onto the left side of the lane, and Autopilot now is hugging the right side of the lane, and we exited. So Autopilot did that construction area pretty well. I don't think it glitched too much. It did jiggle a little bit within the lanes like it usually does, but it had no glitches. It did hit the nag timer twice, and it wanted us to touch the steering wheel in some sort of capacity, so that part it did freak out probably a little bit, but besides that, it did it pretty well and no glitches whatsoever. So now we're increasing speed as this part really doesn't have too much traffic as we pass the Buena Park area, and then we'll head into the Anaheim area as well, which there might be a little bit of traffic in the Disney World area, but we'll see when we get there. Autopilot wants to get into the left lane using the auto lane change, but I'm going to go ahead and cancel that and throw back on the cameras. Autopilot wants to get into the right lane now, and it's braking a little bit for some reason, but I just went ahead and canceled that. It braked from like 76 miles an hour down to 69. It wants to do it again for some reason, but I just canceled it again so that I can increase speed to 76 miles an hour. Autopilot for some reason wants to keep getting into the HOV lane, even though it's a double barrier line right here, or two solid white lines. So I keep canceling it, and we're going pretty fast in this lane already, so I don't know why it wants to get into that left lane again. We were going about 79 miles an hour, now we're dropped down to 73 miles an hour. So probably there isn't going to be too much traffic after we get there, maybe in the Disney World area or right after that. Maybe in the Santa Ana area, but this is where I'm probably going to stop the recording. When I get to the location, I'm going to check to see if there's any damage on the front of my car from hitting that cardboard on the highway at a pretty fast speed. So when we get to there, I'll show that, and then I'll end the video right after that. So see you in a little bit. So it doesn't look like there's any damage from that box hitting me when I was driving like 60 miles or 70 miles an hour on the highway. Doesn't look like there's really any damage at all from that box. From nothing I can see, my car is definitely pretty filthy. Maybe, nope. Good thing I do have paint protection film on the front, so hopefully it protected from any damage. So yeah, it doesn't look like there's really any damage at all from that box. So yeah, thanks for watching another video. Please hit that like if you enjoyed it, and comment below on your experiences with Autopilot, or if you have any questions on Tesla Autopilot, or if you have any questions with Tesla Autopilot. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. All right, guys, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.